For years, one statement from mate Rimac has stayed in the minds of car fans around the world. He once suggested that a Bugatti was not the kind of car that could simply be rebuilt outside the factory. Many people agreed with him because Bugattis are some of the most advanced and expensive cars ever made. Their engineering is incredibly complex, and every part is designed to work perfectly with the rest of the car. Then YouTuber Matt Armstrong came along and challenged that idea. Through a series of rebuild projects, he showed millions of viewers that damaged Bugattis could actually be repaired with enough patience, research, and skill. His videos opened people's eyes to something unexpected. Many parts inside the Bugatti Veyron and Chiron were connected to the larger Volkswagen Group, meaning some components were shared with other vehicles or suppliers. That discovery changed the way many people looked at Bugatti. Instead of seeing these hypercars as completely untouchable machines, viewers began to understand that they were still built using a network of suppliers and engineering partners. But now Bugatti has revealed a car that seems to tell a very different story. It is called the Blanc Eternal, a one-of-one Bugatti Mistral that represents much more than another limited edition hypercar. This car appears to mark the beginning of a new chapter for the famous brand. Unlike previous Bugattis, the Blanc Eternal seems designed to celebrate uniqueness, craftsmanship, and artistic detail rather than shared engineering. At the same time, this release comes during one of the biggest changes in Bugatti's modern history. Porsche is no longer involved with the company. Volkswagen is no longer shaping its direction, and mate Rimac now has full control over Bugatti's future. That timing makes the Blanc Eternal much more important than simply another expensive collector's car. It may actually show the world what Bugatti wants to become in the years ahead, and it raises an interesting question. Has Bugatti finally created the kind of car that truly cannot be rebuilt outside its own factory? To understand why the Blanc Eternal is receiving so much attention, it is important to look at what has been happening behind the scenes of Bugatti over the last few years. For a long time, Bugatti was part of the Volkswagen Group, one of the largest automotive companies in the world. Under Volkswagen's ownership, legendary cars like the Veyron and Chiron were created. These cars broke speed records, introduced incredible engineering, and became symbols of modern automotive excellence. Although they were designed as Bugattis, many of their systems and parts came from the huge network of companies within the Volkswagen Group. That approach made sense because sharing technology helped create reliable and extremely advanced cars. However, Bugatti's ownership has now changed. Porsche has stepped away from the company, and Bugatti Rimac has taken full control under the leadership of mate Rimac. This is much more than a business deal, because it gives Bugatti the freedom to decide its own future without following the same corporate structure that guided the company for years. Many experts believe this change allows Bugatti to focus even more on creativity, craftsmanship, and exclusive projects that express the brand's identity. The Blanc Eternal appears at exactly the right moment to represent this new direction. Rather than trying to impress people only with horsepower or top speed, the car tells a story about art, tradition, and individuality. Every detail seems carefully chosen to show that Bugatti wants to offer something that cannot simply be measured by performance numbers. This makes the Blanc Eternal feel different from previous special editions. Instead of asking, how fast is it? People are asking, what makes it unique? That change in conversation is important because today's hypercar market has become more competitive than ever. Electric cars now produce unbelievable acceleration, and many manufacturers can build extremely powerful machines. Because of that, Bugatti seems to be focusing on something that technology alone cannot replace. The company wants its cars to represent history, human skill, and artistic excellence. The Blanc Eternal is not just introducing another beautiful vehicle. It is introducing a different philosophy, one that may shape every future Bugatti created under mate Rimac's leadership. One of the biggest reasons the Blanc Eternal stand apart from earlier Bugattis is the company that helped create it. Instead of working with another automotive supplier or technology company, Bugatti chose to partner with KPM Berlin, one of the oldest and most respected porcelain manufacturers in the world. Founded in 1763, KPM has been creating handcrafted porcelain long before the first automobile was ever built. This decision immediately tells us that the Blanc Eternal is not just another engineering project. It is also a work of art. Inside the car, several important parts have been carefully made from fine porcelain. The gear selector, window switches, fuel cap, and many decorative pieces throughout the cabin are all handcrafted using techniques that have been improved over hundreds of years. Creating these parts is not a simple process. Porcelain changes shape as it is heated in a kiln, shrinking by around 17% before reaching its final form. Because of this, every single piece has to be designed larger than its finished size. Skilled craftsmen then measure, polish, and refine each part until it fits perfectly inside the car. This level of precision cannot be rushed or mass-produced. Every component requires patience, experience, and careful attention to detail. That is exactly what Bugatti wanted to showcase with the Blanc Eternal. Instead of highlighting only speed and performance, the company is celebrating the value of human craftsmanship. In today's world, where factories and robots can quickly produce thousands of identical parts, handcrafted pieces have become even more special. Every porcelain component inside this Bugatti carries its own unique character, making a car feel less like a machine and more like a collector's masterpiece. This partnership also reflects Bugatti's desire to move beyond traditional automotive thinking. Rather than competing only through technology, the company is combining engineering with fine art and centuries-old craftsmanship. The Blanc Eternal shows that true luxury is not always about adding more power or more features. Sometimes it is about creating something so carefully and beautifully made that it becomes impossible to copy. That philosophy gives this Bugatti a personality unlike any model that came before it, and helps explain why so many enthusiasts believe it represents the beginning of an exciting new era for the famous French brand. When people compare the Blanc Eternal to the Bugattis that Matt Armstrong rebuilt, an important difference becomes clear. The challenge with cars like the Veyron and Chiron was often finding out where a damaged part originally came from and locating a replacement or an equivalent component. Because those cars were developed during the Volkswagen era, some parts could eventually be traced back to suppliers within a larger automotive network. That discovery was one of the reasons Matt Armstrong's rebuild project became so fascinating. Viewers watched him uncover the hidden connections between Bugatti and other manufacturers, while solving problems that seemed impossible at first. But the Blanc Eternal creates a completely different situation. Many of its special components exist only on this single car. If a handcrafted porcelain switch were damaged, there would be no catalog to search through and no warehouse full of replacements waiting on a shelf. The same is true for many of the custom-made decorative pieces created specifically for this one owner. In that sense, the Blanc Eternal feels much closer to a piece of fine art than a traditional production car. A painting created for a museum cannot simply be replaced with another identical copy, and Bugatti seems to be applying a similar philosophy here. This is why some enthusiasts believe the car represents the kind of Bugatti mate Rimac may have been talking about years ago. The challenge is no longer just engineering or access to parts. The challenge is preserving craftsmanship that is so specialized and unique that replacement becomes almost impossible. That idea changes the entire conversation around rebuilding these cars. Instead of asking whether a skilled mechanic can repair the vehicle, people begin asking whether certain handmade details can ever truly be recreated. The Blanc Eternal therefore stands as a symbol of exclusivity taken to an extreme level. It is not simply rare because only one was built. It is rare because many of its most important details were never intended to exist anywhere else. That makes the car feel less like a limited edition hypercar and more like a one-time artistic commission created at the highest level of automotive craftsmanship. The Blanc Eternal is just as impressive on the outside as it is inside, and every design choice seems to support Bugatti's new vision. At first glance, the car's elegant white paint gives it a clean and timeless appearance. However, the closer you look, the more remarkable details you begin to notice. Thin black lines flow across the body, carefully painted by hand rather than printed or applied as stickers. These lines are not random decorations. They represent the digital surface geometry that Bugatti's designers use while developing the car. Normally, these technical design guides remain hidden beneath the finished bodywork and are only seen by engineers during the development process. By placing them on the exterior, Bugatti has transformed something usually invisible into a beautiful piece of art. It is a unique way of showing the connection between modern engineering and traditional craftsmanship. Every painted line requires incredible precision because even the smallest mistake will be visible on the smooth white surface. This combination of advanced computer design and hand-painted artistry perfectly reflects Bugatti's desire to blend the past with the future. Instead of choosing one approach over the other, the company celebrates both. The Blanc Eternal proves that technology and craftsmanship do not have to compete. They can work together to create something extraordinary. This design philosophy also separates the car from many other modern hypercars that focus almost entirely on aggressive styling, sharp angles, and performance-focused features. While the Blanc Eternal is still incredibly powerful, its appearance encourages people to slow down and admire the finer details. Every curve, every painted line, and every handcrafted element tells part of the story behind the car. It reminds viewers that true luxury is often found in the small details rather than the obvious ones. This approach also fits perfectly with Bugatti's long history of creating automobiles that are considered works of art as much as machines. By combining cutting-edge engineering with handcrafted beauty, the Blanc Eternal shows that Bugatti is no longer interested in competing only through speed records. Instead, it wants to create cars that people will admire for generations, not just because of how fast they can drive, but because of the incredible skill, creativity, and passion that went into building every single part. Another reason the Blanc Eternal has attracted so much attention is that it arrives during a major change in the hypercar world. For many years, raw performance was the main way manufacturers impressed buyers. Companies competed to build the fastest car, the most powerful engine, or the quickest acceleration time. Bugatti itself became famous for breaking records and pushing engineering to its limits. However, the automotive world is changing rapidly. Electric vehicles can now deliver incredible acceleration, and new brands continue to appear with more power and more advanced technology. In this environment, speed alone is no longer enough to make a car feel truly special. Bugatti seems to understand this better than most manufacturers. The Blanc Eternal focuses on something that cannot be copied overnight: craftsmanship. A powerful electric motor can be developed by many companies, but centuries of artistic skill cannot be created instantly. The porcelain pieces, hand-painted details, and one-of-one design give the car a kind of value that goes beyond performance statistics. This is why many collectors are fascinated by it, even though Bugatti has not revealed an official price. Experts estimate that the car could be worth somewhere between $8 and $15 million, and possibly even more, because only one exists. Yet, the price is not what makes the story interesting. What matters is the message Bugatti is sending. The company appears to be saying that the future of ultra-luxury cars will depend on individuality and craftsmanship rather than simple horsepower numbers. That is a significant shift for a brand that built its modern reputation on engineering achievements. The Blanc Eternal suggests that Bugatti wants its cars to be remembered not only for their performance, but also for the artistry involved in creating them. In many ways, the car feels like a bridge between two worlds. It carries the famous W16 engine that defined the previous era, but it surrounds that engine with handcrafted details that point toward a different future. By doing so, Bugatti is showing that luxury can evolve without losing its heritage. The company is not abandoning performance. It is adding deeper meaning and craftsmanship to it, creating a new definition of what Bugatti can be in the years ahead. As the story of the Blanc Eternal unfolds, it naturally brings the conversation back to Matt Armstrong and the impact his rebuild project have had on the automotive community. Before his videos became popular, many people believed that damaged Bugattis were almost impossible to repair without direct factory support. Matt challenged that belief by carefully taking apart crashed hypercars, studying every system, searching for replacement parts, and finding creative solutions to problems that most people thought could never be solved. His work entertained millions of viewers, but it also started an important discussion about how modern supercars are designed and maintained. Fans began asking questions about shared components, supplier networks, repair costs, and whether luxury manufacturers should make it easier for owners to restore their vehicles. Those conversations spread far beyond YouTube and reached car enthusiasts around the world. The Blanc Eternal enters that discussion from a completely different angle. Instead of proving that a Bugatti can be rebuilt with enough determination, it highlights the importance of creating something that is truly one of a kind. This does not mean Bugatti is trying to stop independent builders or discourage skilled mechanics. Rather, It shows that the company is placing greater value on handcrafted details that cannot simply be replaced with another identical part. That distinction changes the meaning of exclusivity. In the past, a Bugatti was considered special because of its engineering, performance, and limited production numbers. The Blanc Eternal adds another layer by making many of its finest details unique to a single vehicle. Even if another Mistral were built tomorrow, it would not be the same car. The handcrafted porcelain custom artwork and carefully designed features belong only to this one example. This is why many enthusiasts see the Blanc Eternal as more than a farewell to the famous W16 engine. They see it as a statement about Bugatti's future identity. The company appears to be moving toward a world where every flagship model tells its own unique story rather than simply offering more power than the model before it. In that sense, Matt Armstrong's rebuilds and the Blanc Eternal represent two different sides of the same conversation, one exploring what can be repaired, and the other showing what makes something truly irreplaceable. In the end, the Blanc Eternal is much more than a beautiful hypercar or an expensive collector's item. It represents a turning point in Bugatti's history and offers a glimpse into what the company may become in the future. For decades, Bugatti earned worldwide respect by building some of the fastest and most technically advanced road cars ever created. The Veyron changed the automotive industry by proving that extreme speed could be combined with everyday drivability, while the Chiron continued that legacy with even greater performance and refinement. Those cars will always be remembered as engineering masterpieces. However, the Blanc Eternal suggests that Bugatti's next chapter may be defined by something different. Instead of chasing records alone, the company appears to be focusing on creating automobiles that combine engineering, art, history, and craftsmanship in ways that few other manufacturers can match. Every handcrafted porcelain piece, every carefully painted line, and every custom-made detail reflects a level of dedication that cannot be measured by horsepower or top speed. This philosophy can help Bugatti remain unique in an industry where electric technology is allowing many companies to produce incredibly fast vehicles. While performance is becoming easier to achieve, genuine craftsmanship remains rare. That may become Bugatti's greatest strength in the years ahead. At the same time, the Blanc Eternal leaves enthusiasts with several exciting questions. Will future Bugatti models continue this artistic approach? Will Mate Rimac guide the company toward